We are down to the final four. Let's bring in Commissioner Mark Tatum to seal this man's fate up here.
Thanks again, Rachel. The fourth pick in the 2019 NBA Draft goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. The third pick goes to the New York Knicks. The second pick will be made by the Memphis Grizzlies, and that means that the #1 pick in the 2019 NBA Draft goes to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wow. All right, barring a trade, New Orleans will pick first overall for just the second time in franchise history. New Orleans selected Anthony Davis with the top pick back in 2012. Davis asked for a trade, but I don't know, guys. Now Zion Williamson might be coming to town. Look how happy David Griffin looks. Our Maria Taylor is standing by to...
Well, congratulations, David.
Thank you.
You look pretty happy there. I see you're holding something. Can we just walk me through if this is a good luck
So we did a contest in New Orleans. One of our ticket holders, Connie Halfin, gave us this. This is her lucky angel. It's a 56-year-old wooden angel. And when Cleveland won in 2014, I had my grandmother's angel on my shoulder. Connie was our angel here today.
All right. Well, congratulations to you too, Connie. And what would you say having the first pick again for the first time since 2012 means for this organization?
Well, I think it's just another positive event for us and what's going to be, we hope, several that we stack together. I think Mrs. Benson and her ownership group have invested in this very heavily. And my presence there and my desire to be there had everything to do with this community. So I'm really excited for our fan base, and we got a lot of work to do, but this is a good start.
When I say Zion, you say what?
We have a lot of work to do. This is a good start.
All right. Thank you for your time, Rachel.
Absolutely. All right. Let's take a look at the final draft lottery order. New Orleans Pelicans, second #1 pick in their history. You've got the Grizzlies, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Cavs, the Suns, the Bulls. And Woj, you heard this might happen tonight.
I stood over behind our stage with Dave Griffin about 90 minutes ago. He looked me in the eye and he said, we're going to win this draft lottery. We're going to get the #1 pick. And we're going to continue to work to convince Anthony Davis to stay here. It's not about talking in meetings. It's about showing him. And the whole narrative about Anthony Davis's future in New Orleans, I think, could be very different with Zion Williamson's arrival.
Man, as we said earlier tonight, the match is getting lit tonight, and the ripple effect is going to be crazy. Maria Taylor is with Zion Williamson right now.
All right, Zion, all eyes were on you several times. You looked a little nervous while you were sitting down. How do you feel right now?
Still nervous. I don't know why. I'm just still nervous. Maybe because, yeah, like you said, all eyes were on me. And I think it's a lot to take in because I don't know where I'm going to be.
Well, when you saw New Orleans got the #1 pick, you didn't think for a second, oh, I could be in New Orleans?
It's definitely a possibility, but, I mean, it's not sure until it actually happens.
Have you ever been before?
I've never been.
Let's talk through your game and what potentially it could bring to whatever team you end up with.
It's my will to win, and whatever that team needs me to do, I'm going to be able to do it.
And we saw a guy named, Anthony Davis be picked by New Orleans with the #1 overall pick. How does your game maybe compare to his and the ability that he had to make a difference in the league?
Definitely the versatility, the ability to block shots and rebound, and I think just want to win.
All right, well, Zion wants to win. He's still a little nervous, though, guys, but he knows potentially where he could end up now that New Orleans has the #1 pick.
Thank you so much, Maria and Zion. I want to get your guys' quick reaction to the fact that he is most likely going to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Well, first of all, it's amazing that the new system that the NBA put in had this kind of excitement to it. Really remarkable in the first year, and I think it's got to make everybody feel good about the decision. But for David Griffin to step into this job and to say to you, Woj, that hey, we want to convince Anthony Davis to stay and have this happen, I mean, that's some nice cards for him to hold as we go toward the draft and to be able to make a case to Anthony Davis that New Orleans is where he should stay.
Especially with Julius Randle having that player option, too. You think about what that front court could be like with Zion Williamson and Anthony Davis if they can get him to stay. But I'm going to go down to the number 4 pick too, Rachel. Everybody's talking about this being a 3-player draft. Now, there's some other formidable players, but if you think about the Lakers, it brings back value to the offseason again with free agency. You're not going to land a Zion Williamson, or R.J. Barrett, or a Ja Morant. So you're right on the outside of that. You know, what's the next move for Rob Pelinka and also LeBron James?
Right, and even if New Orleans can't keep Anthony Davis and they have to trade him, they've jump-started their rebuild because they're going to get a great package back. And how about Memphis at number 2, an heir to Mike Conley at point guard, Ja Morant? That's going to the impact on that franchise can't be underestimated.
And to have R.J. Barrett potentially going to New York to play for the Knicks. I mean, that's an impressive move for that kid who is worthy of the number 1 pick. I mean, a year ago, he was the presumptive number 1 pick that was headed toward this draft.
And Jay, you mentioned the new system. We had so many changes, right? We don't normally see this in the top of the draft. What do you think this is going to be in terms of the effect on the league and the decisions they make about, as you say, trying not to encourage the race to the bottom?
It's going to have a giant impact because teams, to just see this lottery, to see 3 teams jump up in there and New Orleans to win it, it just reaffirms what the numbers said was going to happen, that having the worst record or one of the 3 worst records in the league was not much of an advantage. You had an 86% chance to not get the number 1 overall pick.
And it's funny, you guys were talking about this year's draft class. As you say, there seems to be a little bit of a drop after number 3. But we just showed Steph Curry. He was not expected to be a 2-time MVP. There are players later in this draft who can make an impact.
There are. Jared Culver is a kid from Texas Tech. He's a great wing. Kobe White, like Jay mentioned at the beginning of the show, from North Carolina. Also a guy, Darius Garland. Now, he didn't play this year for Vanderbilt, but he's one of the top guards in the country, and his ability to shoot, defend, and he's a speedster with the ball, kind of like Ja Morant. He's a special type player.
The difference is this draft is not as deep with top-flight talent. There are going to be some second-round talents in most drafts that are going to go in the first round this year, and usually it's the opposite. You have first-round talents that wind up in the second round.
All right, but there are still good players out there. If you're watching and your team is not the New Orleans Pelicans, there's still exciting things happening ahead. I want to get back to Zach Lowe because, as you guys know, he was sequestered in the secret room. Let's just call it like it is. He was being held hostage. I believe that they have finally let him out. Zach, what have you got for us?
Oh.